Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with great recordings that you never heard of. And they are great, and you never heard of them. I guarantee it. Well, now, some of you will have, and some of you may have heard of the composer and even the work, but not quite in this form. These are the Concertos Symphoniques of Henri Litolff, who was actually British, more or less, sort of, kind of. Anyway, the bottom line is what we have here are the Romantic Piano Concerto series, volumes 14 and 26. It makes sense to go back and look at some of these things because it's like 80 some odd or 90 some odd volumes now. And it's one of the greatest series that anybody ever thought of. And the only problem is that Hyperion hasn't boxed it up or organized it in some overarching way. So we know how much is going to be in it or what's going on, or even if it's still continuing. I have no idea, given the situation with Hyperion now having been purchased and all of that stuff. But there are 4 of them. There were 5 originally, actually, I think. Yeah, one of them is missing. Number 1, I think, is missing. But it doesn't matter. 4 is plenty. If there's more of them, good. We'll find more of them. What are these? These are piano concertos. They're symphony concertantes. They are real symphonies. They're in 4 movements with a scherzo. And they're lovely, wonderful pieces, charming, full of melodies and sparkly pianistics. And okay, if Litolff wasn't exactly a melodic genius, like Rachmaninoff or someone like that, well, that's okay. We can deal with it. Hitherto, the only thing of his that has survived, and he wrote quite a bit of music, is the scherzo right here of Concertos Symphoniques number 4. It used to be sort of an encore piece. It was played separately. It was recorded separately. And it just freaks me out that nobody ever wanted to play the whole work. I mean, because it's really decent music. They are in, let's see, 4 is in D minor, 2 is in B minor. Here's 4 and 2. 3 is in E flat major, and 5 is in C minor. And the 3rd is subtitled A National Hollandaise, as in the sauce. As in the Dutch. It has Dutch things in it. And I just love these works. You will love these works too. The fact that they're not called a concerto means that nobody pays any attention to them. And because they're by Litolff and, well, there are all kinds of reasons. But we should be paying attention to them because they're delightful. Why don't they get played? But the other thing that really, really means this is a great recording that you've probably never heard of is that both of these are performed by the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Andrew Litton, who is a master conductor, a wonderful conductor, and the pianist is the marvelous Peter Donohoe, who did that incredible Brahms First with Svetlanov. Donohoe is a sensational pianist. And so, a lot of the things in this series, I have to say, they've been charming and delightful and lovely to hear. And Hyperion's worked really hard to pair the right music with the right pianist. But are they all great performances? Do they all represent the music at its absolute best? Well, some do and some don't. I mean, it's only natural, right? But these are wonderful performances of unknown music. And I've always said, if you want to make the case for unknown music, I mean, it's a fabulous thing that we live in an era where the record industry is able to record so much unfamiliar music. I mean, just so readily, and issue it in very sensible, decent performances. But works that are unknown need to be heard at their absolute best. They need to be great performances. You owe them that if you're going to make the case. I mean, it still may not work. I mean, the chances are like 1 in a billion that these things actually enter the repertoire. But you want people to be able to enjoy them at their finest. And these 2 volumes 26 and 14 in the Romantic Piano Concerto series, really do let us hear the music at its very best. And that's so, so important. Anyway, the sonics are terrific. The interpretations leave nothing to be desired, but the music, the music. Litolff's dates, in case you're curious, were 1818 to 1891. So he squarely encompasses the 19th century. And these pieces date from around the 1850s, 1860s, I think, maybe 1870s, somewhere in there, just over the divide into the second half of the 19th century. And wow, Why don't we hear them? It makes no sense at all. Great sonics and music that you really will want to add to your collection and that you'll listen to. That's the point. It's not just that it's unusual repertoire. It's not just that you won't have heard it before. You'll have a good time once. You will want to play this again, over and over and over. And so here you have it. Wonderful stuff. The Henri Litolff Concertos Symphoniques, or Concertos Symphoniques with an S at the end. There are 4 of them. You want them all 4 if you can get them. If not, start with the famous one here, numbers 2 and 4, which is volume 11, and then work up to volume 26. But give them a listen. You won't be sorry. And keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.